What's up everybody, Teancum here with Sew Yeah Quilting. Now in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how you make this beautiful quilt behind me called Heartfelt using a Vega strip. Let's get started. Now if you don't already know what a Vega strip is, it is a 6.5 inch wide strip of fabric containing 20 to 21 pieces inside of it, like what you see here in front of me. Let me go ahead and pop this open. The reason why Vega strips are awesome is think about it as like a jumbo jelly roll of sorts, so you get much wider section here to be able to see your prints, especially if you're a fan of like Tulip Pink or K Faster or anyone who uses the larger scale prints. You'll get a more visual view of them, which is wonderful to have, and you get like a full color range as you're seeing here. To make up our quilt behind us, we're going to be using essentially this entire strip pack here, but for the sake of the video, I'm only going to pull out one or two colors. That way I can show you how you make the individual block. Now, let's come in a little bit closer here to the block itself. You're going to see that it's a very simple block. Center square, which is 6.5 inches square, makes that simple. Then additionally, half square triangles with 2 corner blocks, easy to do. Now the hearts is the hardest part to do of this whole quilt. It is going to be a double snowballed edge. So what that means is we're going to snowball both corners and then snowball off one additional corner to give us the edge here. So you see my double snowball here to give us the look of the heart. And one last little disclaimer there, for the hearts there's a left side and a right side, so we do have to make sure we're mindful of how we're sewing, but don't worry guys, it's going to be a simple project and very easy to do. So let's dive on into the cutting instructions. Now from each of your Vega strips you're going to cut the exact same measurements. However, for the sake of video, I'm going to just use one. Let's pick out a pretty color today. Let's use one of these really nice dark purples here that are super pretty, just so that we have a nice reference. And also guys, as you already know, there's a free sticker in every single Vega strip pack. So what you need to cut from here is we need to cut one 6.5 inch square, 8 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles, and then we're going to need 2 4-inch squares, which will give us a little bit of remnant at the end. However, we can do a scrappy binding, we can use it for the next project, however you want to do works for me. I'm going to cut my 6.5 inch square first. So there's my 6.5 inch square. I'm going to cut my 4-inch. I'm going to subcut these down to be 4-inch squares. I got my 6.5. I got my 4-inch square as well. With the rest of this, I'm going to go ahead and take it over to the iron, fold it in half, and then I'm going to be able to double cut all of my 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles. We are going to do 4 cuts at 3.5 inches, which gives me 8 3.5 by 6.5. So that's 2, 4, 6, and then that gives us 8. Now, this is what I want to show everyone. This is all the scrap that's left. So not very much waste in each one of our strips, which we love to see. So as far as our background here, some very, very basic shapes we're gonna cut out of this. I need some 4-inch squares, some 3.5 inch squares, some 2.5 inch squares, and some 3.5 by 6.5 inch rectangles. Pretty standard sizes. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting. So at this point, we've already got everything cut up. 6.5 inch squares, 4-inch squares, 3.5 by 6.5 inch squares. I've got 3.5 inch square and a 2.5 inch square. Pretty easy math, pretty easy cuts, nothing too wild. But now it's time to start making up some half square triangles. Now we're going to break this up into essentially 3 different sections on how we're going to sew this thing together. Let's go back to the quilt. Section 1 is this block right here. Now I need 4 half square triangles to make up all of them using our 4-inch squares. So I'm simply going to pair off my dark color with my background and make up some half square triangles, and then we're going to essentially sash out that one block. Super easy to do, very quick. Second block, easiest one of all. The square, we just have to leave it as is and set that aside. And then we're going to be moving on to the hearts. Now the hearts again have a left side and a right side. And so we're going to need to piece them. They're pretty much exactly the same piecing, being mindful of left and right side. Now, the way that I do it is I piece both sides at the same time. That way it's very visual as I'm putting it together. So let's start off with making our half square triangles. I'm going to take my background pieces. I'm going to draw a line corner to corner directly across. Now you can use any method that you like. Now I'm going to lay these down right sides together, and then I'm going to sew 1/4 inch away from that line on both sides. Very traditional half square triangle. So both of my half square triangle sets have been sewn. I'm going to cut them in half. I prefer rotary cutter myself. You can use scissors, you can use freehand, whatever you like to do. So now I've got my 4 half square triangles. Now, you can square them up any way that you like. However, I prefer the Clearly Perfect slotted trimmer ruler. Now that I've already gone ahead and made up these half square triangles, I'm going to press all my seams to the dark side on this one. I feel like it's gonna be the easiest way to do it. Now that we have these all sewn up, it is time to make our block. It's a very simple block. We're gonna take our 3.5-inch squares. I'm gonna make sure that everything is pointing inwards. All my dark is pointing inwards. I'm simply going to just add to the side here. And so I'm gonna be sewing those together. Then I'm gonna sew those 2 pieces to this piece, and with a little bit of camera magic, I'm gonna have all 4 of these done. Like I said, guys, a little bit of camera magic here, and we've got all 4 of our blocks that will go all the way around our quilt block itself. Now it's time for the more technical block, which is not too crazy to do, but we want to make sure we do it right the first time. And I'm going to be doing these in sets of 2, so I'm going to do the left side and the right side at the same time. It's going to be terrible if I end up with 5 left sides and 3 right sides. We want to make sure we get them right. With my 3.5-inch squares, these go on the bottom. These are going to be a diagonal seam that we're going to sew to make up the little cut shape for our heart. Now again, I need a left and a right of these. However, I'm going to go ahead and draw 8 diagonal lines on my white first, and then I'm going to lay it all out. So now I got my diagonals here, I'm essentially going to lay them out so that they're mirror images of each other here. So I'm going to do 4 going this direction, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to essentially just take my line and turn it. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now I'm going to be sewing directly on this line, and then we're going to just essentially snowball off that edge, giving us the desired look that we're going for. But since I've laid it all out, I can kind of match up my hearts now, so I kind of can see the angles I'm going for, making sure everything is nice and clean, and then I'm going to go ahead and sew them one by one. I'm going to cut 1/4 inch away from that seam, going in the right direction. So I'm going to start off with all the ones that I'm going to be cutting this side off of. So I'm going to do all those in one set, then I'm going to switch to the other direction and cut the other direction. That way I keep everything uniform. So there's one. Now that they're cut, it's time to iron them open. I've gone ahead and made my bottoms here. You can see how it's starting to take shape. I've got my V for the heart bottom there. So I'm going to just kind of line these all up here, making sure that they are good. I've got my nice little form here. Now with my 2.5-inch squares that I have, I'm going to snowball off both sides of each of these. Now it's the exact same on both left and right side, but I do have to snowball 1 piece here, 1 piece here, 1 piece here, 1 piece here. So that's going to give me a total of 16 2.5-inch squares that I need. So I'm going to go ahead and mark them. What I'm going to do now that I have my lines marked, I'm going to put on every left corner one of these pieces, going all the way up. And then I'm going to go ahead and sew right on that diagonal line. Now that I've done my little snowball edges here, I'm going to cut them all off. It's all the exact same angle. I'm going to cut them 1/4 inch away from the seam. So now it's very clear, guys, that there are different angles. We've been working on this the whole time, making sure that we keep consistent. And now we're going to add in our next piece. And again, we're going to do the exact same thing that we just did, except the angle is going to be going this direction. And we're going to put it on the top right corner. Now that I have my lefts and my rights all put together, it's time to sew them to make my complete heart block. Very simply put, we're going to just put them together, right sides together, and sew all the way down. I'm going to press my seams open But I'm gonna repeat this 3 more times to get all 4 of my blocks. Okay, so hearts, done. Corners, done. And then our 1 center square, done. It's now time to assemble this thing. Now guys, if you liked the video so far, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't be afraid to share it with your friends. As always, down in the description below is a free PDF download. You click on the link below and you can go ahead and download off this pattern just in case you need a visual reference as you're going along through. So let's finish this block up. I'm going to put my center square in, just like so. Both top, bottom, left and right. I'm going to add my heart all the way around. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in my corners, just like so. And we're going to go ahead and sew this up row by row like we normally do. And with a little bit of camera magic, you're going to get the completed block. And guys, for the final reveal, what a beautiful block here. I love the shape that it takes. It's almost like a roundish block, but then you have those little hearts surrounding it. Easy as can be as well. What did we do? We did 4 half square triangles and 6 snowball edges per heart. Pretty standard, pretty easy stuff there. And also, let's just take one more look at the quilt. It comes out to be beautiful once you put in all your different colors. And also, you can make this 100% scrappy, so each block is scrappy, and it will come out exceptional as well. And guys, with that, if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and don't be afraid to share it with your friends. And also, if you enjoy what we do here, make sure you check out our membership, which is directly below this video, a little tab that says join, where you can get even more content, even more videos, and much, much more of the Sew Yeah family. In addition to that, while you're down there, you might as well check out sewyeahquilting.com and pick yourself up a brand new Vega strip. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one.